All right, well, welcome to another episode of John and Dave TV. And as speaking right now, we're mid-September, I guess, and we're still in this whole COVID situation. We're in the phase 3, but now things are opening up, and I'm starting to find things closing down now. We're getting
threats of things closing down.
Yeah, we got Ottawa at this time is apparently a big hot spot right now for a second wave. We've got Toronto and Peel doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and they're
first
talking
school
about
closure happening here in Pembroke.
Exactly, and I'm getting a lot of slack from my brothers in Toronto for that. So how we're the only ones having a school closure already.
Yeah, it's kind of it's getting scary again.
It is getting scary.
Hopefully, we can keep having guests in our studio and keep doing this in our studio.
Yeah,
not
soon
go back
we might
on
have to wear
Skype.
masks and stuff, or go back on the Skype again like we did before.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think my computer can survive in our Skype round. It kind of, but these Skype calls kind of kill my computer.
Exactly.
That's why we're happy being back in the studio.
Exactly. There was a couple times where he had to get his wife's computer or something, but we got it to work. We'll make it work. We'll bring the information to you any way we can. So speaking of things opening and closing and things like that, I know our next guest, his business has been kind of like in a seesaw mood with this whole COVID situation. When he was able to open, and then might have to close a little bit on some of his events and stuff.
Yeah, I think this next guest is actually at the forefront of everything going on. You know, like I have a lot of friends, you know, or even coworkers, or planning weddings or planning celebrations, and now they're kind of this limbo. Let's hope, you know, numbers go back up to larger crowds.
I'm hoping so, yes.
But then now with the rollback going back to 25, you know, like these small businesses like this one,
exactly,
it can be a hard survival.
Exactly. So why don't we bring him on? We have Dorian Pearce from Dpearceproductions with us today. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
And so tell us a little bit about little Dorian. Give us a little history on who you are.
Who am I?
Yes.
So, I guess
It's a tough question.
It is
a tough question to start off.
Like, don't go by when, okay, I was born to this family. But give us a little idea of who you were growing up. What kind of a kid were you? Were you into the arts? Were you more into sports? Were you more of an academic? Give us a little bit more about you.
So I'm like born and raised in Pembroke. I've always lived here.
Valley boy.
So you mentioned sports. I was never into sports at all.
It's okay, me neither.
I have no clue about anything to do with sports. So I was always an arts person.
Yep.
I took dance my entire life at Massell School of Performing Arts in downtown Pembroke, and then eventually got into teaching, tap, jazz, and just recently this summer got my certification with the ADAPT syllabus.
Okay.
And now I'm teaching at Lift Acro Evolution, and kind of how that involves with Dpearceproductions is whenever I was in high school and with dance at Massell's, I was always interested in production. I was always interested in kind of pursuing that in the future. And so that's how Dpearceproductions was born, kind of like through my passion for the arts, through my passion for theater and everything. And here we are.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good background.
Yeah, interesting background. We actually had a guest last week or 2 weeks ago, that also has dance school. And we all learned. I know nothing about dancing. So now you mentioned about so you have the certification, adaptive dancing. So what is that?
So ADAPT is the Associated Dance Arts for Professional Teachers. That's the name of the organization.
It's an acronym. Okay.
Yeah, and so that's in our area at least, and in a lot of areas across Canada is kind of the standard syllabus for teaching jazz and tap.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Oh, congratulations.
Very cool. Yeah. So you got through. You're into the dance. You're doing all the dance stuff. And you said, like, we've had people like Sean Benke on here who does a lot of the productions with the dance and stuff like that, with videography, stuff like that. So you said on the dance school, like Michelle's and stuff, you got into more of the production side on top of the teaching. So did you help out with filming a lot of stuff or putting on events, or?
So no, I was never really involved with the filming of it, but at Michelle's, she always had her end of the year recital, and she along with the Pembroke Symphony Orchestra put on the Nutcracker every second year. So I increasingly got involved more and more with that.
Okay.
And the behind the scenes with that, I did some backstage management. I helped out with setting up the lighting before the shows and all the sound and all of that. So prior to starting Dpearceproductions, that's kind of where I got my start with all the production work is within the dance school and at my high school.
Okay. No, that's good because it's nice to have that background before you just jump in and do it. So that's sort of, I guess, where you got your feeling like this is something I want to do.
And I almost forgot. For 3 years,
Yep.
I also did production work with Stone Fence Theatre.
Okay.
I did their lighting and helped out with their sound for their 2017, 2018, and 2019 runs of their shows.
Very cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So now let's talk more about Dpearceproductions. That's what you're here for. Give us a little background on how you got it started and like the avenues you had to go through, and then what kind of events you've either put on in the past and stuff you got coming up in the future.
Yeah, so Dpearceproductions is kind of like an all-encompassing events production company.
Okay.
So kind of the way we have our DJ service, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We have our photo booth, which isn't in yet, but it is coming soon. And we also do AV rentals and produce a few smaller events on our own.
Okay.
So that's kind of the bulk of Dpearceproductions and what
When
it
you
does.
say the photo booth, is it going to be more of like one of those enclosed ones, or is it going to be like, I've seen ones that are like a big igloo, almost blow up igloo you can go in? Like
No, so it's not going to be like a big blow up one. It's going
Yep.
to be a digital photo booth, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So it's going to not actually print out pictures.
Okay.
It's going to be a completely digital version where they can send it to their email, post it instantly to Instagram,
Very cool. I've seen ones like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
all of that directly from the photo booth.
Okay, and it, like I said, is it enclosed, or is it one of those ones where it's just a freestanding camera with the screen there, and you do it like a big mirror type one, like I've seen the mirror
Freestanding,
ones? And that?
yeah.
So you can have any backdrop you want, basically.
Yeah, so that was I was planning on getting that a lot earlier in 2020, but then demand for that is not exactly that
No,
big
I
right
know
now.
exactly. Because I looked at doing that for my business at one
Oh,
time
did
too.
you?
Because when I used to shoot a lot of weddings, that went hand in hand. People like the photo booth stuff, and I
Yeah.
looked into it, but it just for me wasn't feasible. But for a DJ, I can see that being very feasible for your events and stuff. So I can see why you put it on hold though with this whole situation and that.
It's really interesting though, because like his business and what he's offering is kind of a one-stop shop.
Yes.
For not just for weddings, like
No,
I
for
can
events.
think for any event.
Yeah.
Like I can think of going back to like Christmas dinners with coworkers, and they have a DJ there doing the music during
Exactly.
during dinner, and then the dance party after.
Yeah.
But then add the photo booth to it, and then the AV productions like slideshows and that type of stuff. That's what you put on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for any type of business.
No, exactly. It's great
But,
for blackmail when you get the drinking in there, and later on you can have them in the photo booth all.
But probably not during COVID because, normally we bring this later in the show, but I think it's a good time now to talk about it. It's and I can't think of a better time because, right now what are we facing?
That's
we
right.
can't have large crowds. We
Nope.
we can't have groups.
And they just smaller the crowd just today, actually.
Yeah.
The premier did. So tell us how that affected your business. As soon as March came and COVID hit, what happened?
So actually, it's only Dpearceproductions' second year in business.
Oh,
Talk about a
tough one.
crazy
Yeah.
second year in
Tough
business.
one.
So it was actually started through a grant with the Summer Company program last
Okay.
year.
Yep.
And so last year we had, I think, a pretty decent first year. We had some events here and there. But this year was supposed to be a really big year. We had I remember whenever it got canceled.
Yes.
And kind of whenever everything started breaking out, I took January and February and kind of the beginning of March
Yep.
to plan for the big year that we
big
were about
year,
to have.
Was it ever a big year?
What a mistake that was. But we had approximately 30 to 40 events between mid-March to the end of the year that were booked and ready to go that all got canceled.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah. It's like the entire business gone.
Yeah.
But so I do remember that, like, that first week whenever things got shutting down, that was a lot of phone calls,
Yes.
a lot of emails of cancellations and everything. And so March exactly wasn't a fun month.
No, a lot of loss of sleep.
And neither was April.
Yeah.
But kind of by around mid-April, I was just like, okay, we're all sitting at home anyways. I got to find something to do.
Yep.
And so we put together a virtual wellness conference with Studio Dreamshare.
Yep.
And all of our presenters were presenting from home.
Okay.
And it was a great weekend. It happened in mid-May, kind of just as we were entering into stage one,
Was
I
this
believe.
like a Zoom or a Skype or?
It was live streamed.
Okay.
So it was live streamed on our Facebook page, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. And we live streamed it, the entire wellness conference, and it was 2 days long. And I think we had 10 presenters throughout the weekend.
Wow.
And was it something that we made money off of? Absolutely not. But it was something, A, gave me something to do,
Yep.
to be totally honest.
Yep.
And B, it got other people involved, which also weren't doing much.
Yep.
And also, I think it was just a fun thing to do for kind of the community and everything. And, you know, keeping well and wellness is an important thing.
For sure. Yeah.
Especially whenever.
Exactly. People needed it, I think.
People really needed it.
Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, that's what mainly happened after that.
I remember seeing part of it actually. I think I did see some. I think you were situated in Studio Dreamshare, if I'm not mistaken. You had a table set up there with your brother or something like that, and you were live streaming from there. But I do remember seeing some of it. It was really well done. Really well done.
Yeah, it was a incredible weekend. It was interesting because it kind of felt like getting back into events without actually getting back into events.
Exactly.
Because, like, I'm used to being out at least every couple of weeks at something, you know? And then kind of having nothing for 2 months, I was like going a little bit crazy. But doing that wellness conference, I think, was a really big relief, which I guess kind of brings me to the next point, and that we're doing another one. We're doing one on October 17th and 18th.
Okay.
And it's following the same format, but a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
We're having 11 presenters at this one, and our schedule is being released tomorrow. And so we're also setting it up at Studio Dreamshare again. We're kind of setting up, not as professional as what we have going on here, but we're setting up a, I think, pretty decent kind of broadcast studio to kind of live stream this wellness conference, and each one of the speakers are going to come in one at a time and kind of present it live.
Very cool.
And I think it's going to be another really great weekend.
No, definitely.
You said a lot here, and I don't want to interrupt you and keep you going, but do you mind if I come back on a few things you said and kind of just ask you more about it?
Yeah, go for it.
So your business was made through a grant, right? What was the name of the grant again?
It was the Summer Company grant.
And what is the Summer Company grant for, I guess, the viewers that doesn't know what it is?
So the Summer Company grant is a grant that's presented by the Government of Ontario.
Okay.
And it's meant for students. So I was doing the business program at Algonquin at the time.
Okay.
And it's for high school students and college, university students to start businesses, I guess.
Okay.
It's a $3,000 grant.
Oh, nice.
And the application process was surprisingly simple. And there's an interview process, and you have to write business plans and all of that, all the classic stuff that goes with doing a grant. But yeah, that's how the business was
So was
started.
that the grant? So like I'm aware of a business grant that Galton College here in the Waterfront campus puts on, where I guess students are able to work with a teacher as like extracurricular activity, and then work towards this. I guess present your project plan, and then you're able to apply for. Is that the same grant we're talking about, or
No, it's
totally
not.
different?
Totally different. This
Okay.
one's managed by Enterprise Renfrew County.
Oh, okay. For the
And we've
county.
had actually, I think we've had a couple of people that went on for that same grant at
Yeah,
one time too.
So, we heard it like multiple times. I never actually, and today you kind of made it kind of a highlight, and I remember, like, I never actually asked for that grant